friends, welcome to my fake cooking show. Tonight we're gonna have saffron shrimp and broth. So I've got probably 2 carrots and 1 yellow onion, just kind of sauteing down. I'm gonna add some saffron. You don't need a lot. I'm gonna use just about ½ a teaspoon. It's going to add some nice flavor. I don't want to use it all. It is the most expensive spice you can have, but it adds this really great color and it adds this really yummy flavor. So if you don't have saffron or you don't want to spend that much money, you can use turmeric as kind of a cheat, and it'll still give you a nice flavor and it'll still give you some of that nice yellow color. So I've just kind of warming it up. Got this on a medium heat. Probably cooked them a little further than I wanted to. That's okay. Who doesn't love a caramelized onion, and who doesn't love a caramelized carrot? This recipe, I've also salt and peppered my shrimp, and I'm putting in some tilapia as well. So I've just got them salt and peppered, and I'm going to throw them into the pan. They are raw. They have the shells on them, but they are deveined. And so it's going to take a little bit of work to have them. If I'd thought about it, I would have taken the shells off earlier, but I didn't. That's okay. You can eat the shells. It's not everybody's favorite. This dish is kind of inspired by my favorite mussels at Mediterra in Princeton. I just love their saffron broth. And I thought, hey, what do I have to do to make that saffron broth? I thought about what was in it, and here's where we come up. A little saffron, a little shrimp. Now shrimp cook really fast, so you can see they're already getting pink, and you don't want, this is not a time to walk away from the pan. The other thing about tilapia, and I've cut it into little pieces, is it's going to cook really quickly too, because it's a thin fish, and you can almost call this deconstructed paella, except for there's no tomatoes, and paella has a base of tomato paste. Maybe I'll make that another night. I love making paella. That's something we ate as a lot as kids in Spain, and it's something that I've thought about making over the years, and I have made, and I even took a class in the last couple of years, probably before I was sick. So the shrimp is cooking, the fish is cooking, and those really yummy things. I'm going to go ahead and add the, just going to add about 1/4 cup of white wine, and I'm going to add 1.5 cups of chicken broth that I made a couple of weeks ago. I usually take the leftovers of my vegetables, I freeze them, and then I have a broth making day. And I'll take everything out and just put it in a big pot and just let it cook and cook and cook. And then when it's ready, and then it's broth, and then I freeze it. I freeze it actually on a cookie sheet in a Ziploc bag, and so that it freezes as a flat square. Have we talked about this before? And then when I freeze it, once it's frozen, then I take the cookie sheet back. And then I put, and then what I do is I put the sheet of cookie broth in, just on the side of my pantry, or my freezer, so that it doesn't take all the room. So you can see that the broth is kind of yellow. That's from the saffron actually. And you'll see these little strips of red. That's the saffron as well. but it's lending its color really well to the chicken broth. Like I said, I could put tomatoes in this, but you're gonna lose that color. And we really want that color. I'm gonna serve this over rice tonight. We had scallops and spinach, basically actually probably, maybe it was my first recipe, the scampi scallops over kale and spinach again the other night, and we had that over quinoa and it was so good. Okay, the shrimp are almost done. I'm gonna turn the heat up just a little bit so that it can reduce some of that flavor. And to finish it off, I've got some scallions, but that's almost done. You don't want to overcook shrimp. So when you see them kind of curling up and you see them, you want to make sure there's no gray. You want to get all that white in there. I think the shrimp are going to be done before the rice. I'm okay with that. I didn't cook the rice early enough. I salted the shrimp, but I did not pepper the shrimp. So let's get some pepper in there as well. That's good. I think this is gonna be yummy. But I do want this to reduce down. I want the sauce. I want it to be a broth, but I don't want it to be this. Well, I need a little bit more reduction. I think I'm gonna make some toasted bread. And then I think we're gonna be good to go. I'm gonna taste this. Peyton really loves stewed tomatoes, so I might stew some tomatoes for him. I have some cherry tomatoes that are about to go off. Oh yeah, that's pretty yummy. A little fishy, but not crazy fishy. It's got that earthy saffron taste. Yeah, that's gonna be great. We are gonna like that. It's gonna be great over the rice. We're just gonna let that cook down a little bit more. And I'm gonna put the scallions on top, or little fresh oniony bits. It's gonna pick up the saffron and those other tastes while it just kind of sits there. That's basically 8 minutes and it's dinner. Not sad about that. Hope you're well, friends. Hope that you are eating and taking care of yourselves, making sure that you're feeding not only your belly, but also your soul. Love from Junior Jersey. So I decided to put the tomatoes in. I did not put, it's just, you know, handful of tomatoes. I thought that would give it a nice color. And then we had some peas in the freezer, and frozen peas are gonna be just awesome in this. So I'm gonna put 3 big handfuls in, and that's gonna finish. Rice is almost done. Shrimp and the tilapia are golden yellow. The saffron is really in there. The onions and the carrots are basically melting. So I'm just gonna let this sit for a minute with the peas on a medium heat. And when they are thawed in about a minute, we're gonna be good. If you're cooking with saffron, be really careful about the little tiny splashes, because the yellow is crazy and it will stain. It can stain your stove, it can stain your clothes, it can stain your countertops. Be really careful with saffron, but eat it, and definitely have this for dinner. Bye, friends.